it, and only you know about it, only I know about it, and I'm cringing. So imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people in your real life, in the whole world, knowing about it. Childhood is such a sacred and such a sensitive time. Hey internet, I'm Skai. It's been a while because I'm just so busy with university and I did a full 180 with life and mentality. But here I am. I also made a drawing after a really long time, so that's great. Let's just get into the video. I'm going to talk about online parenting, and even saying that sounds bizarre already. Online world became a really big thing around mid to late 2000s, technically before as well, but I'm trying to get you focused on the entertainment and social media parts of it. Since then, we just experienced a lot of controversies because any person can put themselves out here. I'm not going to name people because I really distance myself from the online world and I feel much more normal and real. So this is the environment I'm trying to create for you as well. Because internet is such a relatively new thing, we don't really see its full negative effects yet. Even though it's already bad, because here's just my random conspiracy, because, you know, China allegedly started this whole COVID thing and it also owns TikTok. So you get the pandemic and you get the TikTok, and put those two together, you know, we had to be isolated and we're more prone to become chronically online, which just made us miserable and sensitive and full of But guess what? TikTok doesn't even exist in China, as I'm informed. So people there are only getting smarter. Anyways, this is just something random I was thinking about the last day. I don't even know if I'm correct, but I do think I am correct. And I'm going for a whole another approach to talk about family channels than most commentary tubers, because there are deeper reasons why people lost their minds in this virtual reality. There's one thing when we talk about visibly problematic parents who put their kids online. But what about those who just seem normal? I want to challenge your critical thinking. We all know it's problematic when a parent bullies their child or pranks their child, and it leaves emotional scars, and it's even more traumatic if parents post that on the internet and people can comment on it and parents earn money from it. Like, we know it's messed up. Most normal people who aren't blinded by woke leftists also know how abusive it is when parents put their kids on the internet while literally severely manipulating them into extreme ideologies, you know, gender or sexuality or any of those things that child shouldn't be thinking about until they're like 12 years old. They should just, you know, touch grass, go outside, play with other kids. I'm actually glad that here in Slovenia life is quite normal, but I just stumble upon a lot of content from America when the normality is just so crazy that you can see the most predatory, sick, manipulative things and people just comment on it as if it's something normal. It's just like, oh, what a great parents to support their child in. Check out this video I made about it to give you more context. And it really is the pandemic just making people chronically online, which triggered such irrational thinking. But what if I tell you that even if you are a normal thinking person, I know that normal is such a taboo word, but in general. So if you think normally but happen to spend too much time on social media, on the internet, you're still considered chronically online, because if you feed your mind with problems you hear about on social media, it becomes your reality. Internet is just so full of negativity that if you spend too much time on it, this negativity becomes your reality. Literally me in the beginning of my YouTube journey, and I'm proudly having all of the videos, most of them on public, because I was weird, but I also worked on it a lot. So when this is your new reality, you start losing boundaries, first online, then in real life, and you can't even put it in words. You can't even say, oh, I don't have boundaries here and here. No, like, you just live and communicate, and you just don't see it. Like, I can speak from experience. It's also the whole cancel culture, when you had to be perfect all the time, but also super controversial, was considered perfect. We all at that time just had to explain ourselves and apologize so much. And the loss of boundaries in those two worlds, like real life and internet, it's really why I think it's problematic to put any child out here. I like the internet when it benefits me. I like making videos and it's not affecting me because I keep the boundaries. I post a video or a cute photo on Instagram and then I just log out for weeks and I only watch like 2 YouTubers. But that's it. I don't even have TikTok. I don't have Snapchat. Like, my Instagram I have right now is basically, you can also follow me on it if I'm not deactivated right now as I post this. But even my Instagram, like, I deleted my Instagram so many times times in the past, and this is the only Instagram I really can feel like I'm me. And even I feel overwhelmed by it. So imagine a person who uses all of those social media all at once every day, and they use their child, like they have a child, and they use their child and include it in all of this pressure, in all of this chaotic internet energy, and they create content and put their child in this content and they monetize it. This is where I can call it abusive, and let me explain why. If you spent your life watching YouTube, your perception of the basic normality probably changed a lot. Mine did too, and I think it's great when you can create on these platforms. Like, I think what we hear on social media can be really beneficial, you know, just like some self-help, and not toxic positivity self-help, but like actually hearing other people, their experiences about life, and you can just relate to them. And you can also go to the other extreme when you just compare yourself to people with perfect life. It's a whole rabbit hole. But kids, children, not only they're being put on the internet by their parents in some cases, they are also living their lives scrolling on a piece of glass for hours a day. And also, you know, I just know that parents who are on their phones all the time, you know, having small children, and those children become addicted to their phones, and those parents are gonna be like, why? But why? It's because they see you, they want to imitate you, you are the reason. This is a topic for a whole nother video. Anyways, kids are just scrolling on a piece of glass when they could be making stupid memories. But imagine, at this time, we don't see consequences. Not the global ones. Like, we see kids becoming way more anxious, depressed, because they kind of like compare themselves to other people, and they're just like, oh, wait, so what's the point of me even doing anything if I'm not like this and this and this person? And being anxious because they are so isolated and not really forced to have human interactions with people, and just, you know, this adds onto overthinking and just anxiety in general. Like, I remember when I was super isolated, I was just overthinking everything, like every social interaction, and I was super communicative, but I was, you know, it's just, I'm talking about the period of time of the pandemic. Kids now suffer with this. Like, imagine what is gonna happen in years from now. So, family channels, is it actually an abuse to post your children online? As I'm distancing myself from the online world, I'm starting to see just how weird the rabbit holes are. Even the drama channels, which I do not like, and I do not want to be one, and I do not want to watch them. Like, when I used to watch them, people creating drama videos and TV videos, they were ethical and righteous, but it's all just drama created out of thin air. And the more you are online, the more negativity you see, and then you're just like, oh, but why is this person saying this, and why is this person saying this and doing that? It's the internet. Like, it's literally the internet. Like, why do we care what people on the internet do? It's not affecting us, and if it is affecting us, we literally need to touch grass. I'm so glad I'm out of that chronically online thing, and I was not the worst case. Like, I was pretty rational. Family channels are based on intimacy, what happens with the kid and the home. The boundaries are already gone because of the normalization of oversharing on social media. By the way, you can check out my story time about oversharing. And while you see people on the internet sharing so much, why wouldn't you make a YouTube channel, open up, and gain the opportunity to monetize all of it? I personally don't think people shouldn't do that, because I'm literally creating YouTube videos, and I also talked about some personal stuff. But your child is not you. You can talk about yourself, but your child is not you. It is a part of you. It is a part of your life. You can't talk about your child as if it's so normal and just putting it out there on the internet. Let me share a few clips with you. Let me just put you in a certain perspective.
So there's a YouTube family with 16 children. So some of them are adopted, some of them are their biological children. They have posted 3, not 1, 3 separate videos where they give their young daughters the talk, okay? And by the talk, I mean the sex talk, and they document every aspect of it online, and they posted it. And it's gotten, one of them has over 1.1 million views. So that is just disgusting. In the videos, they film every aspect of the process. So it begins with like, in every video, they begin by writing a letter to the daughter saying like, dress up, you're gonna be going on a date with your parents later in the week, so you're gonna need to dress up, get ready for it. We're gonna go take you out to dinner, big fancy dinner. They always film like this similar scene where each daughter walks down the stairs like prom style, and the parents are waiting at the bottom of the stairs filming them, and they film the process of them getting ready. In every video, they film themselves driving to the restaurant, and then they film themselves giving the talk, at the restaurant, public restaurant. And then they always end the video by giving their daughter like a promise ring of sorts to like round out the video. So they all follow like a specific formula and format. Obviously they do that because it was very successful on the ones that they posted. It's sad too because I noticed that in one of the videos when they're like filming, you know, I watched all three, but I noticed that in two of the videos they were filming talking about like, are you so excited to go and do this, blah, blah, blah. And two of the daughters made a mention, it's a rare occurrence to go out alone with their parents for a special occasion like that.
So how often do you get to go alone with mom and dad on a mommy-daughter date?
It's like so exciting because we never do, like never. Like
not very often,
yeah,
like once
like,
a year, right? Like
yeah,
once a year.
like once a year.
Yeah, it's true. So how is it being on a date with mom and dad? Is it awkward?
Yeah, kind of, but it's fun because like this usually doesn't happen.
That's true. So true. All right, we're almost there.
One of them even said like this is like a once a year situation where they get to go by themselves with their parents and do something just themselves, just alone with their parents. It breaks my heart to hear a child say that they only get to spend, you know, one-on-one time with their parents once a year, but it actually breaks my heart even into a million more pieces to know that the one time they get to spend with their parents, it's being filmed and it's an embarrassing, sensitive topic and they're filming that and documenting it for YouTube. Whether that's true or not, whether they do hang out with their kid or get one-on-one time more frequently than that or not, it's just to hear a child say that, it's just sad. So obviously in these videos, as anybody would, I would be embarrassed even now as a 27-year-old. Each kid is visibly uncomfortable, visibly embarrassed throughout the entire video, like entire process of this video, they're visibly embarrassed.
This is the talk about where babies come from. Where do you think they come from?
Their stomach.
From their stomach?
Yeah, but
Okay, but wait, how do you think they got there?
I mean, a lot of people say they're just hitting it like at the end of their stomach.
Okay. So you're saying like tadpole babies?
No, like really no. So like, oh, we're all saying this.
Wait, okay. So let me just tell you. Can I
Just tell me.
Just tell me. Wait, get a drink. So do you know where babies come from? Yes! Where do they come from?
No, I'm not saying.
Well, yeah, you can say that. It's not bad. Where do they come from? Does a stork put them? Where do they come from?
Your stomach.
My stomach, exactly. And how does my stomach get a baby in it? Do I just say, oh, I want a baby real bad, and boom, there's a baby in my tummy?
Not even close.
Do I have to eat crab legs? No. How does the baby get in my stomach? Do I have to swallow a special seed?
No.
So tell me what happens. How's the baby eat?
I really no. Well,
Kind of you do.
yeah, I kind of do, but like not like a lot. So I need you to tell me.
The parents are filming them in a crowded restaurant eating and asking them while they're eating like if they know where babies come from and filming the responses of the child saying like, oh no I don't, or I haven't heard about it, or I don't know, blah blah blah. They mute out the actual conversation of like getting and explaining like the nitty gritty. They still film like the reactions, like they just don't put any sound over it. They put music over the talking part, but they still show like every reaction and like the uncomfortable, like the squeamish sort of like, you know, any reaction that a 8-year-old or a 13-year-old would have, because these kids are 8 and 13. You know, this discussion, the talk between parents and children, is inherently sensitive in nature. While the idea and information I believe is correct, like I agree, and I feel like it is a good thing that they're doing, bringing their kid out, explaining things, maybe not doing it in a public restaurant for starters. That information might be correct. Like doing that, bringing it out, explaining it to them before somebody at school explains it to them, that all makes sense to me, yes. But it's abhorrent, in my opinion, to publicize this extremely sensitive conversation with your child in this way and make a video of it and then make money off it. It's embarrassing. It's sensitive. It's awkward. It's gross. It's just, I've never seen anything like this in my life, and they did it 3 times. Not once, but 3 times. One of them is with their 13-year-old adopted daughter. I just want to mention this as well. It's extremely irresponsible to associate like these kind of conversations that are sexual in nature, obviously like the most sexual in nature, with young kids online for potential predators to see. Because there's a statistic that children between 12 and 15 are especially susceptible to be preyed on, accounting for over 50% of online predator cases. To put these kids in this position where they're publicly talking about this, they're associated with this talk, they're associated with this topic, people are getting their reaction, it's just gross. It's so irresponsible, it's so tactless, it's anything for views. I mean, it is truly, I've never in my life seen anything like this. It is anything for views.
Remember the time you did something really silly as a child, like something the most embarrassing, like you peed your pants on a school trip when you were 6, or just really embarrassing thing. Just remember it or imagine it in yourself in this situation. Now think about how you felt when someone found out, like your mom found out or your dad or your sibling, and you were like so embarrassed about it. Okay, so now imagine your mom or dad telling their colleagues about it, like their family friends, your family friends, or like relatives. And just imagine all the pressure of shame you feel. You're just so uncomfortable, and you think about how you don't like your parents for saying that, and you're gonna remember it for the rest of your life. Now imagine like literally you, the person who are watching this, imagine your exact parents. Hopefully you have parents, and if not, I'm sorry. Imagine your parents at the time taking out their phones. They start filming themselves and talking in detail about this crazy embarrassing event you went. You're the star of it. You are the embarrassed one, and imagine them describing it and filming themselves, and then they literally post it on YouTube or on TikTok. Isn't that just so weird? So not only you know about the time you, I don't know, shat in your cat's litter box. I did not do that. This was so random. It's not from my experience. Not only your parents know, not only your relatives know. It's absolutely anyone who has the access to the internet and who can type your family name on YouTube or TikTok. You go to school the next day. Let's say you're about 6 years old. You go to school the next day or like in a few days, and everyone know about this event, like your classmates, like the ones who you don't like, the ones who don't like you, your friends. Just imagine your specific situation, like just imagine yourself in this. And then their parents know, and their parents gossip about it, and how embarrassing it is that your parents filmed this and posted that and put some stupid ass music over it. And I know I'm saying this as a YouTuber, but you have to look at the context. Your teacher knows, like other teacher know, random Indian lady in the grocery store knows. Sorry. And hundreds of thousands of complete strangers know, and absolutely any of them can comment on it. And when it's out there, it's out there. And then your mommy and daddy use that to monetize it and to earn money from it, and start sharing even more details about you and about them and about the whole dynamic, and maybe even interpreting everything wrong, talking about it in a completely different way than it happened. It's your private life, it's also their private life, but yours as well. You would feel embarrassed by just your parents talking about, oh my god, I do want to have children one day. What if they find out my videos and they're like, why are these random people commenting that you slay? Why am I having inside jokes with myself? So their parents do this every day. Even if it's technically not an extreme thing to talk about, it's talked about on the internet. And that's a big difference than just the event being known to random people in real life. And that's already so much. We all know how much we cringe at 3 a.m. at some things that happened 10 years ago, and only you know about it, only I know about it, and I'm cringing. So imagine thousands and thousands of people in your real life, in the whole world, knowing about it. Can you see why this is so bizarre? But we as a society just accept it, just normalize this. Why? After that, for example, again, your parents make you stand in front of the camera every day when you just wanna, go outside, and they do that day by day, all behind the mask of just doing a silly little dance. Now that I put you in this perspective, you cannot tell me that it's not literal abuse, emotional abuse, privacy abuse. These are just a few of the reasons why I can't stand family channels, and there are hundreds of commentary videos talking about the specific traumatic things family channels and on those online parents put their kids through, discussing everything that's messed up. I'm just I'm not even talking about those cases. Imagine everything I talked about combined with all of that. Sorry. This is the trauma. We can't even see it yet in kids, because those internet kids are still kids. They're not grown up, and the woke children. Oh, this has to be so traumatizing. So traumatizing. But maybe I should make more videos about it. But I assume my viewers have common sense, and if you do have common sense, keep having common sense. Imagine how these kids are gonna feel in about a few years, when they're gonna be teenagers and their classmates are gonna talk about some random video they're on a Monday's high school day. We really have to put this in a complete normality. I'm bold enough to make YouTube videos because I don't have unnecessary people in my life. I don't have random people with their random ass opinions. I really choose whom I have in my life, so I'm not bombarded with all of those opinions. That's why I can even put myself out there. But as soon as I, for example, started hanging out with the basic ones like the normies or whatever. I'm such a main character. Yeah, I don't think I could do that anymore. So what I was trying to say is that even for me as an adult, it's hard to put myself on the internet if I know that people in real life are watching me. And because I don't surround myself with people who are the types of people that are like making fun of others for putting themselves on the internet, I'm not affected by it. But then if you transfer this into a child situation, that their parents are putting the child on the internet and everyone knows about it, and a child doesn't even have control over the situation and over what's on the internet and what's not, and then people talk about it and then they give their opinions on it. This situation must be so traumatic. That's where I was going. I don't think those aspects are fun for the kid at any point. And at this point, I'm completely invalidating the reason that parents just want to spend more time with their children. They want to make money from them because they want to provide for them and have more money, more time with them. I'm invalidating this reason. Like, this is not a valid reason to put your child through that. And I'm just so amazed that those parents, those family channel parents, don't even have the basic knowledge about children. I do not have a child, but I have basic knowledge. Childhood is such a sacred and such a sensitive time. It's really sad how we look at, teachers or preschool teachers, because they're literally putting their effort to raise those children. You're working with actual human beings and their most vulnerable time in their life. Like, I can imagine that when you were in kindergarten, your kindergarten teacher said something weird to you and you remember it to this day. Like, imagine just this profession and how powerful it actually is, and then imagine childhood in general, and then combine it with these cameras and these lights and these filters and these dances and this sharing and this oversharing and this commenting. But then when we look at those videos, we just see a clip and we're like, okay, a clip, a family, but like behind that, it's just so much. It's severely damaging to search for your identity online, even as an adult. And I know that because, I was a loner when pandemic started, and I really had like a lot of situations in life, like a lot of just really bizarre situations that I couldn't talk about with anyone, and I was just so anxious and so closed up, and I didn't really have anyone in real life. And that's when I really started searching for my identity online, just talking to random strangers online, and if I could relate to someone, it really became comforting. But then you come from this real life not sharing at all to this online sharing, and then that becomes your reality, and then you go back to real life and you just start sharing the most personal things, and it's like nothing. So I'm not just here trying to be like, oh, touch grass, stop being like that. No, because I understand how it is to search for your identity online. So yeah, I'm not here judging these people just because they took this internet opportunity to like do something with their lives and their identity. But there have to be boundaries. Like, we were talking about literal children. When those boundaries get crossed, that should not be ignored and normalized. So if it's damaging for an adult, imagine the effects it will have on a literal child. Now imagine a child who wants to please their parents, and their parents encourage those behaviors. Those are gonna be some deep scars, like some deep scars. And that child might not be even aware that something is wrong until they're like, 20 years old, and then they live this certain way, and then they come into a different environment, a different parts of society, and they start to look around and be, wait, I did not have a normal life. Like, this was not supposed to be like this. And the most common reason why you shouldn't put your kids on the internet is obviously predators. Parents reveal their kids' faces and first names and last names, and a predator can easily track your child. They know how they look like, they know their name, and they can talk to the child and say, yeah, I'm a family friend. Like, this can happen so easily, and God knows what can happen. I do think this is talked about enough on the internet, so I didn't want to make my whole video about this. So I truly encourage you to think critically before you show your support to those creators, whether the woke ones who are not even hiding their predatory traits, or if you talk about the wholesome ones. But it's just so weird, some people in America doing to their children. People are literally out there in universities studying so hard about child psychology and what you can do and what you shouldn't do, and how you should not manipulate a child, how you should be this role model. And then in America, oh, it's totally fine to say to a 3 3-year-old, they're transgender. This is so insane. Until like months ago, I couldn't see people online as real people because it's all so glossy and so filtered and so edited. But it's a 20-second clip, and the 20-second clip is also edited. So this was a more serious video on me. If you're new here, hi. You can like this video if you find it sensible or if you find me tolerable in any way. And if not, I don't care. I'm not gonna seek validation from people on the internet and from the people in real life because that's just so pointless. So that's it, I guess. Sky loves you. Kiss your mother for me and wash your feet.